Hello everybody, and welcome to one of our eFileCabinet demos. The purpose of this demo is to illustrate the benefits of using an electronic document management system to help you capture, manage, and protect your vital documents. However, before I get started, I wanted to tell a quick story that helps illustrate how a document management system can help you increase your efficiency, decrease your cost, and reduce some of the risk that's associated with having a paper filing system. Now, the story I'm going to tell you about is a story about Jack. Now, Jack is a tax accountant in the middle of tax season. And like any other tax accountant during this time of year, he's up to his eyeballs in paperwork and deadlines. Well, one afternoon, while working feverishly away, the unthinkable happens. That's right, the phone rings. The mere sound of the phone ringing during this time of year sends shivers down his spine because Jack knows that he will need to answer that phone. And when he does so, he'll have to stop whatever it is that he's currently working on. Well, Jack picks up the phone, and on the other end of the line is Mr. Lincoln, one of Jack's longtime clients. Mr. Lincoln is in the process of refinancing his house, and the bank needs his tax papers for the previous 3 years. The only problem is that Mr. Lincoln has lost his tax paperwork and is praying that Jack, his longtime accountant, may be able to email him a copy of his tax records. Well, because Jack values Mr. Lincoln as a customer, he agrees to help him out. After putting Mr. Lincoln on hold, Jack gets up from his desk and he walks over to the filing cabinet to retrieve Mr. Lincoln's tax documents. If they're not in one location, he needs to go look into another. After finding these documents, Jack needs to walk back to his desk where he needs to scan these documents into a digital format so that they can be emailed. After emailing these documents to Mr. Lincoln, Jack needs to put the documents back into the filing cabinet and hope that they don't get misplaced, since most misplaced documents never get found. After filing these documents, Jack then can walk back to his desk and finally continue what he was working on. The issue with this process, as you can see, is that Jack had to stop what he was doing and walk all over the office to find Mr. Lincoln's documents. In addition, those valuable documents were moved all over the office and ran the risk of being misplaced or even lost. Well, what eFileCabinet does is it provides a way for Jack to manage his documents in a more efficient and secure way. By eliminating the filing cabinets and utilizing a desktop computer and a server, Jack can now access Mr. Lincoln's tax documents without even leaving his desk. In literally seconds, Jack could have these documents emailed to Mr. Lincoln. And all of this is done in a secure environment, so there is no risk of the documents being misplaced or lost. In addition, protocols have been set up that only allow specific users to have access to Mr. Lincoln's files. And this is great because this ensures that only those people who need to have access to Mr. Lincoln's files have access. Also, Jack can rest assured that because these files are stored electronically and backed up, he does not need to worry about these documents being destroyed in a natural disaster. Today we live in a world of paper overload. There are many offices out there that are jam full of papers. Filing cabinets are bursting at the seams with documents, and this runs the risk, as with Jack the tax accountant, of these documents being misplaced or destroyed if a natural disaster were to happen. However, more importantly, it just makes it so much more difficult to manage and search these documents. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a quick demonstration of eFileCabinet and show you how easy it is to be able to capture, manage, and protect your vital documents. Here is the eFileCabinet login screen. Now, when you log into eFileCabinet, before we log in, there's actually a couple things that I want to point out real quick. One is that you'll notice that there's a username and password in order to access the system. This is critical for security, and we'll talk a little bit more about security a little bit later on in the presentation, but please know that our product does allow users to become HIPAA, SEC, and FINRA compliant, and the username and password is critical for that. You'll also notice that down here there's a server with an IP address, and this is because eFileCabinet is a client-server-based utility, and what that means is that your documents are stored locally on your network. Most of our customers will install eFileCabinet on a server inside their environment, so that's where their documents are stored, is locally on a server. However, some of our customers are small enough that they don't have a server, and so what they'll do is they'll actually set up a workstation to kind of act as an impromptu server to store those documents. But the important thing to remember here is that the documents are not stored on the cloud, they're not on the Vapor, on the internet somewhere, they're all stored locally within your environment. Well, I'm going to go ahead and log into eFileCabinet, and this is going to take us to the eFileCabinet home page. Now, as we go throughout this presentation, one of the things that I also wanted to point out is that we tried to make this product as simple and easy to use as possible. And we found that one of the best ways to do that was to mimic an actual filing cabinet. And what I mean by that is think of the filing cabinets that's in your office, those actual physical hard metal filing cabinets that are in your office. You may have different filing cabinets for different needs. For example, Jack the tax accountant, in the example that we gave earlier, he may have an accounting client's filing cabinet. He may have an archive filing cabinet for former clients, former employees, and he also may have a human resources filing cabinet. Different filing cabinets for different needs. Inside those cabinets, we're going to have drawers, and inside those drawers, we're going to have folders and files. So eFileCabinet is set up the exact same way. We have cabinets, we have drawers, we have folders, and we have files. So that's actually how we name the documents and organize them inside of the system. Now you'll notice here that inside the employee information folder, inside of Jason Miller's drawer, we have a couple of different types of documents here. You'll notice that there's a PDF. Now PDFs are the standard default of documents that are scanned in. So documents that are the hard physical paper documents that need to be scanned inside the system, eFileCabinet is a great place to be able to store those documents. You can see here's a little preview screen of that application that was brought in. But you'll also notice that besides the PDFs that there's a Microsoft Word document, there's an Excel spreadsheet, there's a WAV file, a media file that's there. So eFileCabinet is also a great tool to be able to store those documents that are already in a digital format. And this is great because it allows you to take all of the documents, all of the information about a particular employee or a particular client, and store it into one location. So you can see all of those documents here are stored inside of Jason Miller's his drawer here. So as we were skipping through the different documents here, obviously you saw the different views that popped up here. This is a nice little preview screen that allows you to be able to look at that document as it's saved inside the system. We have a couple other tabs, and we'll go over a couple of these a little bit later, but there's a comments tab that allows you to be able to enter in comments and put those on there so other viewers or other users of the system can see the comments about that particular document as well. And we'll go over these other tabs in just a second, a little bit later in the presentation. But I just wanted to show you that the structure is very similar to that filing cabinet like we told you. We have cabinets, drawers, folders, and files. Now if you wanted to be able to search for documents inside the system, there's a couple ways to be able to do that, and I'm just going to go through those real quick. One of the ways is to drill down. As you saw just a second ago, I got into Jason Miller's employee information folder by just drilling down. I just clicked on the human resources, went into Jason Miller, and then I went into the employee information folder. However, if you have lots of cabinets and lots of drawers, that could take a long time. So we have a couple other ways to be able to look for documents as well. Up here on this left-hand side, this allows you to search for a specific drawer. In fact, you'll notice here that there's a little search drawers text inside there just to remind you that this is where you search for drawers. So I can type in MIL, and what this will do is this will actually look for all the drawers that have MIL in the name. So it brings up Jason Miller, and it brings up W.A. Milton because of the MIL in the drawer name there. So once you select the drawer name, then you can kind of go inside there and look in the specific folder that you're looking for. However, for some people, that's not going to be good enough. What they want to do is they want to have a little bit more robust search. And that's where this middle search is going to come into play. This middle search is probably one of the most popular ways to be able to search for documents and folders and cabinets and drawers and things like that, is using this middle search icon right here. Now what this will do is this is going to search what we call for an entity. Now an entity allows you to basically search for drawers, folders, and files. That's what an entity is. So as I go up here, if I type in MIL, you'll notice that it's going to bring up Jason Miller and W.A. Milton like it did before, but it's also going to bring up a lot of different other documents. Any folder that has MIL in the name, it also brings up documents that have MIL in the name. So there's a lot of different ways to be able to search for that document. But if I was to type in Miller, for example, it's just going to bring up all the documents inside of Jason Miller's drawer. So this is beneficial if you want to look at all the documents inside of Jason Miller's drawer at a snapshot. Just with a quick glance, you can type in Jason Miller and it allows you to be able to look at that information. Where this really becomes beneficial is, like, let's say you want to look at Jason Miller's resume. You can type in resume, Miller resume, and it's going to show you this is Jason Miller's resume. As you can see, there's some information about Jason Miller there below. So that's what this middle search does, is it allows you to be able to search a little bit more robust for some of the documents that are out there. However, some people, that's still not good enough. They need a little bit more robust searching capability, and that's where this advanced search comes into play. Now this advanced search, what it does is it has a lot of different levers or a lot of different search criteria to be able to search for a specific document. So for example, I can look to see when a specific document was stored or modified. If I want to look at a specific date that was modified or stored, I can do that. I can of course search all dates. I could use text in the name, so the name of a specific name of a drawer, a folder, or a file. I can search here. That's what this field right here allows me to do. Down here is full text searching. That's really beneficial because this will allow you to be able to search for text within a specific document. So for example, if I was to go here and type in the word Fourscore, right, and click search, what this is going to do is this is actually going to search through the entire system, and it's going to look inside of the documents, actually look inside of them, and it's going to find the word Fourscore inside the document. So that's why I brought this document up as a return, is because of the Fourscore that shows up right here inside of the Gettysburg Address. So that's one of the things that we have, is that full index searching. By typing right here, you can type in Fourscore and look inside those documents. You can limit which cabinets you want to be able to search in. You can look for a specific user when they stored a document or modified a document. A lot of different things that you can search for, and we'll talk about profiles in just a second on how you can use that to be able to search for documents. But this advanced search, as you can see, is a way for you to be able to do a little bit more powerful searching and trying to find a specific document. Now real quick, one of the things I wanted to go over was to show you how easy it is to be able to create a cabinet, create a drawer, create a file, things like that. To create a cabinet, it's very simple. All you need to do is go in here inside this administration tab, and you just click new cabinet, and you just give that cabinet a name, and then you just call it like personal files, and you can decide who you want to give access to that. So I want to obviously give me access, and you can limit on who or who will not have access to that document, and I'll click save, and you'll see it just pops up the new cabinet right there. To delete a cabinet, all you need to do is just select delete cabinet up here at the top, and this will just ask you if you want to delete it. So it's very simple, again, user intuitive, to be able to find a way to be able to create cabinets or delete those as well.